Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Srujan. I am a practicing cosmetic dentist and your mentor for the day. And the topic which we are going to focus on today is probably one of the most important topics in this subject, and it's called GIC. So today we are basically going to focus on the composition, the types of GIC, properties and the chemical reaction. And like always, today also I'm going to further simplify the topic from this book of Mind Maps and Notes by MediStudyGo. So this book is a must have and every dental student needs to have this book. So go ahead, get this book today itself from any of these e-commerce platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, Dental Cart, or directly the official MediStudyGo website. So let us start with the definition of the Glass Ionomer Cement, and it is basically called GIC because the powder of GIC has silica and the bond it has with the tooth structure is ionic in nature. So silica, which is basically glass, is why it's called glass, and the ionomer is because it forms ionic bonds. It is a self-adhesive restorative material. Let us go through the types of GIC. Type 1 is the luting cement, which is basically used for cementations of crowns and FPDs. Type 2 is the restorative. Type 3 is used for liner and bases below the cavity, below the restorative material. Type 4 is used for pit and fissure sealing. Type 5 is again used for luting but for orthodontic purposes. Type 6 is used as a core build-up material. Type 7 is high fluoride releasing. Type 8 is used for atraumatic restorations or ART. And finally, we have type 9 GIC, which is used for pediatric patients. It is also called as man-made dentin because the coefficient of thermal expansion of GIC is almost as much as that of dentin. The fluoride releasing capabilities or the ability of GIC is one of the most important properties which basically inhibits secondary caries. Now let us go through the applications for GIC. It can be used for the class 1 and class 2 cavities, class 5 restorations, and it is really useful for class 5, which is basically in the cervical region because it has good flexural strength. It can be used for as a luting agent for crowns, bridges, inlays, onlays, orthodontic brackets, and braces. It can also be used as liners and bases for core build-up materials and for endodontically treated teeth. It can also be used for pit and fissure sealants and for ART restorations, which basically are all the types that we went through. Now let us understand about the composition of GIC. So the first thing we are going to understand is about the polymeric matrix. So it is basically formed up of copolymer of acrylic acid and itaconic acid or maleic acid. So this is the major component of the polymeric matrix, and it is going to reduce the viscosity and inhibit gelation. So gelation is an important concept which we are going to understand in detail soon. It also consists of tartaric acid for working and setting characteristics control. So it basically is going to improve the handling, and it is also going to improve the working time, and it is composed, or the actual composition is about 5 to 10 percentage. Then it consists of water, and that can be free water or bound water. And finally, we have polyacrylic acid, which is about 50% of the aqueous solution. And that is basically again going to improve the working time by inhibiting the gelation. And now coming to the powder or the second component of GIC, it basically consists of acid reactive comminuted FAS glass, which is basically the glass matrix. Now FAS here stands for fluoroaluminosilicate glass. After that, it consists of ions like calcium, strontium, and lanthanum, which is responsible for radio opacity. It also consists of alumina, which basically promotes ion leachable glass. And finally, we have some of these ions or some of these compounds which are responsible for flux. Now let us understand the setting or the chemical reaction of the glass ionomer cement. So it is basically a acid-base reaction, and as we have studied during all of these years, an acid and base reaction is basically going to give us salt and water. So the dissolution, basically powder plus liquid, is going to give us calcium, sodium, silica and fluoride. The initial setting is going to be all accomplished by calcium cross-linking, which is a very important point you need to remember, whereas the final setting we are going to see the aluminium cross-linking. And there obviously is maturation, which keeps happening over 24 hours of the restoration till the next 1 year, where the microstructure of set cement is established. Now let us go through the mechanism of adhesion. So carboxyl groups of polyacids chelate with calcium ions of hydroxyapatite in tooth. This is how the initial cross-linking, which is the calcium cross-linking, is formed. So here in this diagram we can see the setting process. So in the first diagram you can see powder, which is FAS glass on the top, and liquid polyacrylic acid. When both of these are mixed, we get a gelation kind of a core, which is basically formed up of unreacted glass core, and it is obviously surrounded by the glass gel. This initial setting reaction of glass ionomer cement is further or basically is characterized by calcium cross-linking, which can be seen here in this bottom picture. So this basically targets the hydroxyapatite in the tooth structure, and that is how a strong chemical bond is formed. So these bonds, by the way, are ionic bonds which occur at the tooth restoration interface. So this is one of the important points you need to understand about GIC. Let us again go through the setting reaction. So the first thing which happens is mixing, in which acid attack is the main event. After that we get a phase called as gelation, in which the cement is in liquid or flowable state. Silica hydrogel formation, water protection is required. After that we get solid state or the maturation phase, where insoluble matrix and water addition is required to prevent dehydration of the cement, and this is where the role of water comes into the picture. So the mixing time is about 45 to 60 seconds, followed by working time or the gelation phase, and then it is followed by the maturation phase, which is about 24 hours to 1 year from the restoration. And like we studied, this is going to be an acid base reaction. Now let us go through the role of water and fluoride in GIC. So first we are going to focus on the role of water, and it is basically a water based cement. Like we studied that the one of the major components in polyacrylic acid or the liquid of GIC is water, and it basically is about, or it comprises about 11 to 24%. So this forms the reaction medium that allows dissociation of the polyacid liquid. It allows ionization and release of metal salts from the matrix, continues the ionization until complete maturation, acts as a plasticizer during manipulation, which basically is the gelation phase, allows cement to age with increase in its strength, modulus of elasticity, and also decreases plasticity, which basically occurs in the time span of 24 hours to 1 year. And now talking about the role of water, and like we studied, there are two different types, which is loosely bound water and tightly bound water, or free water and bound water. So the loosely bound water is going to remove or is going to be removed easily by desiccation, whereas the tightly bound water uh, is basically going to be removed as same as the unbound water, and it hydrates the matrix and also cannot be removed by desiccation. So basic difference you need to understand is that the free water can be easily removed by desiccation, whereas the bound water cannot be removed, and the major role is to prevent dehydration. Now coming to the role of fluoride. So there are two types, the short term release and long term release. When we consider the short term release, there is going to be exponential fluoride release during the post-setting maturation stage in the first few days, where basically the cement is going to release maximum amount of fluoride. Whereas when we talk about the long-term release, low fluoride release happens throughout the cement life as a result of equilibrium diffusion. And the released fluoride is mostly in the form of sodium fluoride, which is not a matrix forming salt, so no weakening effects of or loss of desired properties occur, which is one of the greatest advantage. Now here again we have a diagram which tells us about the role of water in GIC. The first thing we see is hydration, and the second is what happens by dehydration. So basically, a waterproof seal should be maintained during the initial phases of the setting reaction by application of a special seal, and early finishing should be avoided because that might cause dehydration. Now let us go through a few questions which will help us memorize this topic. The first question we have is, bonding of GIC to tooth structure is achieved by what? And the option number A, B and D has this word only, and words such as only, never, always, etc. are immediate red flags whenever you're going to solve any MCQs. So anyways, we'll go through all the options, but again the correct answer in this question is option number C, that is mechanical retention as well as chemical chelation, which is basically the correct answer and the right bonding mechanism. So chelation is basically how the chemical bond is achieved, and the micropores formed are going to do the micro mechanical retention or the interlocking, which is why the correct answer here is chemical as well as mechanical retention is seen. The second question we have is the initial setting reaction of GIC. So as we studied, the initial setting reaction is going to be uh, accomplished or achieved by calcium interlocking with the tooth structure, whereas the final setting will be characterized by aluminium cross linking. So the correct answer here should be calcium cross linking. Also guys, what I have marked here in this blue box is called a flashcard, and that is going to be super helpful for your revisions right before your exams, because it consists of keywords and quick summarized topic answers which can help you form exam ready answers. And if you liked all of these contents, I would strongly suggest you to take a look at the MediStudyGo app, where you'll get access to all of these mind maps, notes, videos, flashcards, as well as MCQs. The best part is all of these contents can be unlocked absolutely for free, and this app is available on iOS as well as Android. So I would strongly suggest you to download this app now itself and start learning on the go. And with that, we reach the end of today's video. I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, make sure to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the official channel of MediStudyGo, where we try to regularly post informative videos just like this one, hoping to help all the dental students preparing for your exams. Also, if you have any doubts regarding GIC or this topic, make sure to put your doubts down in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help all of you. Thank you so much and happy learning.